It has definition. And the definition is specific. It's not wavering. It's not unclear. The expression of God is utterly, clearly what God is being right there. So the call here is for you to make a decision and stand on one side of the fence or the other. But don't straddle the fence and then say, I don't feel guilty. Because it's a way you're using to give yourself permission to be unclear and then attempt to embody that lack of clarity in your life. And that will not feel good. Life, being, doesn't work that way. So you asked. Become clear within yourself and make a decision for one or the other, and whichever one you make the decision for, you end the other. Don't let spiritual or metaphysical ideas rob you of the capacity you have to be clear and to bring clarity into focus in your experience. That is where your blessing will be, by bringing it into focus in your experience. Okay.
The next question we have is from Heather. Thank you, Raj and Paul, for all the incredible healing you have brought to me. Right now, I am 5.5 months pregnant and feel incredibly blessed and excited to have the opportunity to be a mother. This was an unexpected pregnancy, but I have had the feeling that she was very much planned. I also feel like there is much more going on that I have not been letting in regards to this. I would like to know what the bigger purpose was and is for this pregnancy. What do my husband and I need to know in regards to being successful parents to her? Anything you can share with me about this would be very welcomed right now. My husband and I still are not without our struggles, but I am getting the feeling like this baby could be bringing healing in some way. Thanks so much.
Oh, yes. This baby is going to shake things up. I do not mean this baby is going to be difficult. This one's presence is going to get both of you, and especially you, out of a rut you were getting into. You were becoming too sure of things, too complacent, too comfortable, thinking you had things pretty well pegged, and that really meant keeping you free of surprises. Well, I'll tell you something. This child will expand you. This child will shake you up. This child will help you be open to things that you would never have considered. This child will make you susceptible to incredible and wonderful growth. Sometimes this will make you mad. Now, I understand that what I'm saying could apply in any case, but you needed this one even more than your husband. It's as though this child will oxygenate your life, rarefy the atmosphere so that you become more alert, more present, more capable of coping with the unexpected. And you know what, ultimately? More willing to see God. Because when you get into a rut of complacency, where the status quo is pretty clear to you and you're comfortable with it, you're not really primed for seeing God. You're not really primed for insight, inspiration, illumination, radical new conscious experiences of being. So welcome this one. It was no accident, I promise you. You are correct there. All births fulfill purpose. But these are the specific ways in which it fulfills purpose for you. It's also going to keep you young. I mean by that, that in many ways you were already beginning to get old. You were already becoming habituated into behaviors that prohibited you from being where newness could shake you up. You were already beginning to give up, in many ways, curiosity and vital interest in transformation. I mean that in terms of your daily life, where you would actually be called upon to do and see things that you would never have thought of doing. In other words, you were beginning to think of never doing some things, and the list was growing longer. You were already, in effect, beginning to retire from life. And this one is going to wonderfully keep you from doing that. Okay. Congratulations.
The next question we have is from David. Dear Raj and Paul, thank you very much for listening to my question. Great to be with you both. I have tried to move on from intellectuality towards an emotional level with you, Raj. Although I have been aware of us communicating many times, it has always been words, pictures, and ideas, not feeling. I had a bad acid trip when I was a teenager, and as I didn't really know what was happening to me, it was a very scary experience. I had this intense feeling of hanging on, and that if I let go, I would go mad. During meditation, any experience I have tends to lead to panic, which I am sure relates to this experience I had as a teenager. I am finding this is a real block to my progression towards communicating with you, Raj. Can you give me any ideas about how to overcome this? Many thanks, David.
Do you actually think I'm going to do anything that's going to scare you to death and stop communication? Don't worry about there not being a lot of feeling accompanying this. Continue to talk with me. And just allow the means of communication that I use with you to occur. And don't become demanding and say, well, but I want feeling with it. Why aren't you supplying that? Or, there's not feeling with it, so I must be blocking. Well, yes, you are blocking, but it doesn't matter. You're just becoming somewhat at ease with communicating with me in words and images and ideas. Let that be. Abide with that. In the process of coming to a level of comfort and ease within yourself in connecting with me and communicating with me, you will relax and more will be able to register with you. And more will. Don't be impatient. Be grateful for the communion you are having. Paul is still not experiencing the fullest of communion with me, even though it is humongously greater than it was in the beginning. So don't try to set some sort of standard or timeline. You know, the whole key lies in yielding, as I've talked a lot about. Yielding into the moment, yielding into the present experience of conscious being, and abiding there without an agenda. You see, without any coercive intent. That's what being undefended means. Just letting yourself be present in peace with the communion we're having, you see? The lack of aggression on your part, the lack of an aggressive intent to accomplish something by means of communing with me, is like a plowed and fertile field in which plants can flourish, in which more of what the experience of communion can be can grow in your awareness. So be patient, and as I said, be grateful for what is. I am grateful for the communion we have, and I know there is more to be had. But you know what? The communion we do have, the degree of it that you are allowing is real, ultimately real. Let it grow. You let it grow by persisting in having the experience without an agenda, meaning without impatience. Impatience is an act of self-will. Self-will in the sense of acting at odds with the way things are. You can't twist the universe's arm, you can't twist God's arm. All you can do is abandon the intent to be willful and just allow the pregnant void of consciousness be where you are and where you are willing to be, not willful to be, because it's out of the void that the fulfillment of the pregnancy comes. So relax. Everything is fine. I will be with you. And for everyone else, this is not a special arrangement I have with David. What I've said with him applies equally to everyone, but everyone didn't ask, David did. I'm with all of you, and your guides are with all of you. And we're all awake, and it works the same way with all of us. All of us are fully the Christ, because we're claiming no other presence than the presence of what God is being, right where we are. Okay. Thank you.
The next question is from Sharon. I'm having more insights and understanding more, but I still allow myself to be distracted too much. Is there something that would help me with this?
Oh, how about a little crisis? Or how about no crisis? How about just finding justification within yourself for no good reason? At the bottom line, with any of you, it's just going to boil down to a decision that either you will make under the pressure of crisis, or a decision that you'll make when you're not under the pressure of crisis, and you're willing simply to decide to be curious and discipline your mind enough to hold the focus of your curiosity. I can't give you a technique. When it's finally important to you, you'll do it. But just remember that, generally speaking, what makes it important to most all of you, what you determine to be important enough to cause you to do it, is usually called a crisis. And the only help I can give you is to say, be reasonable enough within yourself to say, I don't want to wait until the crisis. That's going to be stressful. I'm going to start doing it more religiously now when it is not as stressful. Be conscious enough throughout your day to notice when distractions come, so that you may choose between the distraction or staying on focus. It's all in your hands. And that's really what you need to know. There's no magic potion or magic action. It's a matter of simple decision. You'll make it when you make it, and you won't make it until you do. Now, you could take that statement and say, yeah, you're right, so I'm going to let go of the whole thing, and when I make it. Because until I make it, I'm not going to make it. Well, okay. But you do have a mind, don't you? And you do have the capacity to say in your mind, Raj says, I won't make it until I make it. And when I make it, I'll make it. So I'm going to choose to make it as consistently as I can remember to, starting now. Right? You do have that mental capacity. So I've uncovered the opportunity. I've uncovered the way it works. And I hope that you will look at the opportunity as something worth exploring with the curiosity that an explorer employs. Heather is going to be exploring many new realms, many new things as a result of a new child coming into her experience. It can be a delight. And I encourage you to cultivate a delight in exploring, staying focused, having an intent to not be distracted by the irrelevant. Making the choices constitutes increasing maturity. And I invite you to engage in it. We're going to take a break and we will resume at 5 after the hour. That's approximately 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, let's just take a moment to be still.
Our first question is from Kim. Raj, I find myself continually drifting off with mind chatter. How best to stay centered all of the time?
Well, let's not try to swallow the elephant whole. You don't need to find a way to be centered all of the time as your first step. But I would suggest that you meditate at least twice a day so that you have the experience of a quiet mind at least twice a day. The practical effect, or one practical effect of this practice, is that when you have experienced a quiet mind, let's say within the last 12 hours, the memory of a quiet mind is still present. And so you have the benefit of being able at any time during the day to recall the experience. And the memory of the experience just happens to help promote quiet in your mind, whether you've done a meditation a second or a third time. You may not be able to sit down at 2 p.m. and meditate. But if you meditated in the morning and you're able to remember the experience, you'll find that your mind will naturally want to adopt the memory of the experience that you're having. And if you will meditate regularly on an ongoing basis, you'll find that the quietness of your mind that you experience in meditation will begin to last longer. It will begin to endure past the end of the meditation. That's just one of the benefits. And that is the way I would encourage you to approach it. One thing that you can do at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or if you're out and about and you're not where you can close your eyes and meditate without looking peculiar, is just to sit and breathe and pay attention to the sensation of the air passing the bridge of your nose. That is also very helpful in quieting the mind. In your mind, I want you to cultivate the valuing of quietness in your mind. Because what you value, you tend to draw into your experience. What you value is what you automatically and even unconsciously seek for. I'll tell you this, don't be reactive to the busyness of your mind. Notice it, but don't react to it. Don't say, oh, damn, I can't keep my mind quiet. You bring emotion into play, and you move further out of your peace. You can just notice that your mind is busy, that you're thinking. You can notice it without applying a charge to it. That's the key. Don't apply a charge to it. And then, as I said, just breathe in and out slowly and give your attention to the bridge of your nose for as long as you're able to in the middle of your activity. Let the practice of remembering that you want to be still have more importance than accomplishing it all at once. The less impatience you have, the more easily it will come. You deserve to only think when it fulfills purpose. Thinking is not the equivalent of being conscious. Okay.
The next question is from Mark. Hello, Raj. My question is about fulfillment. The two areas that I feel the most fulfilled in are sharing practical spirituality with people and writing music. I need to be involved with people, and it feels as though these two would be the most fulfilling in which to do so. Is it appropriate to find a job and keep these interests as side interests, or should I focus more on one of them as a, quote, job, unquote, as a main interest?
Well, instead of trying to determine ahead of time what you should do, why don't you say, Father, I want to be where you would have me be, doing what you would have me do. These are two areas that I love. These are two areas where it's easy for me to have an object of my affection,